I'm Scott.
I'm TJ.
And this is a review. On today's episode, we'll be reviewing Barbarian. Barbarian is a movie starring a bunch of people. It's directed and written by Zach Krieger from The Whitest Kids You Know. And it is a thriller.
You had a hard time defining it because it plays in a couple different genres, but it handles them all really well. I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
I give it a thumbs up.
I would also give this a big thumbs up, an enthusiastic thumbs up. And we'll tell you more about why, but definitely this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen Barbarian yet, I recommend you put this in your favorites. So like and subscribe and ring the bell and favorite this and email it to yourself or do whatever. And then go watch this on HBO because it's streaming now as of very recently.
Yeah.
Which is why we decided to review this today, even though it's been out. It came out in theaters a little while ago. I got to see it in theaters. You did not. You watched it on HBO?
Watch it on HBO Max.
So there you go. There's your little plug for HBO Max. And without further ado, Spoiler Skull is in full effect. And this is a big spoiler skull because This is a lot. There's a lot of ins and outs. And really don't. If you haven't seen this movie, you should definitely go in fresh, I think.
Absolutely. So watch the movie. Come back when you're ready to discuss.
Yeah, it's kind of a dark comedy in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
I mean, the beginning of the movie is a straight up thriller. The first 30 minutes, it's about a girl who is coming to stay at an Airbnb in a sketchy neighborhood in Detroit. And somebody's already there. Bill Skarsgård.
Da-da-da.
Yeah. Oh, Pennywise, the dancing clown.
I, Georgie, am Pennywise, the dancing clown. You are Georgie. So now we know each other.
So you're really with the main girl. Her name is Tess, and she's from Black Mirror. You might have seen her before. She's great. She's in town for a job interview, and it's raining. It's night. She got there late. It's a very relatable situation. The whole getting to an Airbnb and being afraid of somebody else being there and you don't know it's a very relatable setup.
Yeah, I mean it's great. It also in a way was a perfect horror setup because I've seen this be pitched to me in trailers as a rom-com setup.
Yeah.
All rom-coms are secretly horror films.
Why don't you just crash here?
Oh, no.
It's dry and there's a lock on the door. By the way, I'm Keith.
Tess.
Well, yeah, because it is at first you're like, what's going on? And you're run, but then you also see the neighborhood and you're like, where else is she going to go?
Well, it's great because at night it doesn't seem nearly as bad.
No, you don't realize how creepy it is
in
until
the morning
next day.
she walks outside and you're just like, this is where we were all night?
It looks like a bomb hit the place and they're the
every
only
house
place.
Except for theirs. It's insane. And it was fantastic.
That's a very unsettling revelation, but it is it's pouring down rain and it's late at night and she is in the middle of nowhere, so it's where's she gonna go?
Right.
So she ends up staying with Bill Skarsgård and he seems fine.
Dude, think about it. She's out in the middle of nowhere with some dude she barely knows. She looks around her. What does she see? Nothing but open ocean. There's nowhere for me to run. What am I gonna do? Say no?
Okay, that seems really dark.
But he's going too far,
And then
he
it's
seems
creepy.
creepier. Exactly.
It's
That's what I mean by he's over.
Cut
He's
to
being
Dennis
overly-
and always
because
Sunny
of-
going, the implication.
because of the implication.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Yes. So yeah, he's overly accommodating to the point where you're like, something seems off.
Right.
You're on edge
worried about
with
it.
Tess. You don't want Tess to be in a situation. And then weird stuff kind of starts happening where he goes down. Why does he go down in the basement? You watched this more recently than me. What triggers the going down into the basement?
Him going into the basement?
Yes.
So, because he gets back and she's locked in the basement.
Oh, she got locked in the basement first.
And so she's
Right,
locked in the
right,
basement. He gets back because she's
And
got
she
the
found
only
the
key.
room. Right.
Yeah, she found the room. And so she goes up and she's like, there's this room and there's a camera and a bed and it's creepy and we gotta go. And he's like, whoa, like a bucket and a room and a you just described like a junk room.
It's a creepy vibe. You know what it is. As soon as you see it, there's something wrong is happening down there.
If you've seen it, you know you need to leave that house. He hasn't seen it, and he's like, it's not that I don't believe you, I just want to go see it. And so he goes down, but he finds a different door. So he goes down even further into an area she hadn't seen yet. And so that's why he gets down there.
And then she's waiting for him to come back up.
Right. And goes back down.
She's like, well, but the door locks on its own, so she props it open.
Right.
So at this point, you're really wondering, is he luring her down here? What's going on? That's what I thought. I'm like, he's playing a game with her.
I watched this at home, and I'm sitting on the couch going, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't go down there.
Yes.
Like, I was so invested. It was phenomenal work on everyone's part.
Yes, and then Bill Skarsgård gets his head smashed in, and then hard cut to Justin Long.
And the organizations ain't really organized. Yellow.
Listen, AJ, I gotta tell you, there's no new money coming in.
But before we cut to Justin Long, it's terrible he gets his head smashed in, but a little part of me is happy because I was like, I didn't want him to be the bad guy.
No, I mean,
so I'm a little happy he wasn't the bad guy.
You get that justification of like, well, he was a nice guy.
He was just a nice guy.
Smash.
And this is what you get for you get killed.
Yeah.
You gonna hurt women? I'm not gonna hurt these women. Okay. Why would I ever hurt these women? I feel like you're not getting this at all.
I'm not getting it.
So then you get a hard cut to a much different type of nice guy.
Air quotes on this nice guy.
Real nice guy. Real nice guy. This Justin Long character.
Which great casting, by the way. I love Justin.
Perfect casting.
Perfect casting.
Perfectly executed. Perfect performance. This is where the movie really takes shape, because at first this movie is just kind of a not generic, but it's a run-of-the-mill, well-executed thriller.
I had no idea where it was gonna go, so when you hard cut to Justin Long
in LA as a shithead actor,
and you can clearly tell, he's some shithead actor or screenwriter or something right away, and you're just like, I hate this guy. What happened to my people?
He's very hateable right away.
I know.
And the introduction to this character is that he's being accused of sexually assaulting an actor that he worked with on a project. Everything you get to know about this character leads you to believe this accusation is true.
Absolutely. This guy's a shithead.
There's no doubt in anybody's mind that he's guilty.
No, he's a terrible person.
Does not try to sell. Like, he's like, what are they talking? He's like
always on that. He's defensive.
Perfectly playing this of like shell shocked. He's like, his entire world is over, and he's like processing this driving around LA. And he's talking about selling off these properties and doing all this stuff. And you're like, how does this connect? Was he making a horror movie? Like, what's going on?
Exactly.
Like, what's the connection? Yeah. And then you realize,
they mentioned he's got some properties.
He's got some properties.
I could sell the Michigan properties. Some of those make money, right?
So that leads him to our house in Detroit.
I love this scene. This scene is incredible.
One of the best scenes in recent cinema history of Justin Long, just this doofus shithead LA actor walking around this house in the basement. He discovers the secret room, and he's like tape measure out, like.
But even before that, just the moment of him getting there and going, oh, nice, because the door's open and the light's on, and he's just like a mad landlord. And so there's this huge dramatic irony that plays out for the first 10 minutes that he's back. And you're like, oh my God, we know this crazy thing is down there and you don't know yet. And then he slowly hears them more and more.
Is someone staying here at the moment?
I don't think so.
Well, someone's here. There's a suitcase and clothes. Do I have squatters?
Have a nice day.
Hello?
He's such a shithead.
He finds the secret room, and he's excited by the prospect of having extra space that he didn't know about to sell when he's trying to look at it. He's like, oh, there's a whole extra 40 feet down here as he's finding this.
Not worried about the camera
the rape
or
dungeon,
the bloody hand on the wall. He's just like, all right, grab my tape measure.
Dollar signs in his eyes.
It's so bad that it's good.
It's very well executed. and it goes just far enough because he gets down into the dark tunnels and like finds a bloody cage. Yeah. And is like literally like he's like, what is this, a cage? And starts like tape measuring it, and then he gets
it like keeps going. He's like weird, and then just keeps going. And there's like rows and rows of these bloody cages, and it's just a shot of his tape measure, and it just keeps going like he doesn't care. It's so funny,
completely oblivious to the horrors around him, and it just makes the scene so funny, and it's like really makes you realize how like a tone of a scene can change everything, even though the setting is exactly the same. It's still, the lighting is creepy still.
You're laughing, but you're still stuck in so much suspense.
And you're like, when is something going to happen?
Because every time the shot changes, you're like, oh, where is it? And then you don't see it, and it's like, where is it now?
Because this movie has a monster. I feel bad calling it a monster, but it's not a realistic. It's too far. You know what I mean? Like it's based on reality, but it's a mutation to a way that it's not real, and it's a monster. It's a movie monster.
Yeah.
So what you have here is a giant mutant baby person.
Yeah.
That's like 8 feet tall, and they're like living super strong. And they're like it's Sloth from the Goonies.
Stand pardons. And now, the final crowning touch to this cake. Take a bite.
Oh.
It's Sloth from the Goonies. Sloth from the Goonies walked so this thing could run.
Come to mama, baby. Come on.
Mom, you've been bad.
So what's really going on here is, if you've seen the movie, which hopefully you have, is a serial killer guy has been kidnapping women and forcing them to procreate, and then just making babies with the babies of the babies, and
just all sorts of bad.
It's Game of Thrones shit. Right, and that's how you get big Sloth. How you get Sloth from the Goonies.
Early in the movie, when Tess shows up and she's getting to know the guy, they're talking about how, like, as a woman, you have to think about coming into a house, and if, like, she was there first, there's no way she would have let him in.
Right.
And then when you cut back to this flashback, it's of a woman in the house, and the guy just literally puts on a costume from his trunk, knocks on the door, and she just lets him in right away. And they show him going into the bathroom, turning on the faucet, opening the window, turning off the faucet, and just being like, everything's fine. And that's how he gets her later.
Well, that's what I like about this movie, is it's very methodical, and the scenes are very simple, but it's like everything you need and nothing more. They trimmed all the fat, and it's like, okay, they don't, in great detail, the movie doesn't say, and then he had sex with the woman, and then she did he had sex with the baby. They don't really tell you any of that. That's all
lot of this stuff.
Yeah, it's obvious. You figure it all out, but it's very well executed in that it's just giving you the information you need, and it's letting you fill in the blanks. And there's no question either. It's not like it's trying to leave it. It's very clear what's happened.
Yeah.
But without over-explaining like I just did.
It was hard at times.
Actually, they do, I guess, that being said,
there's a few hard
there is
to
a
watch
moment
moments
at the end of this movie when they're escaping, when the guy that lives there basically does just say exactly what I said. He lays it out pretty plainly. And that's the last act of the movie is probably the weakest part. It's still good, but kind of just turns into monster chase movie.
Yeah, and I wasn't really expecting that. I mean, it's not that I wasn't, but like, this movie takes a couple turns, you know?
Right.
And so it's kind of hard to get a sense of where you are in the actual movie. And that's a good thing in a way, because it's a short movie, but it feels like you get a lot of story, which is nice.
It's a simple story, but it's fragmented in a way. It's almost doing like, I don't want to say like a Pulp Fiction thing, but it's a similar, like it's fragmented and out of order.
And thankfully, no title cards.
No title cards. But
Chapter 1.
Even the third act, even the final like chase has a fun turn where like Justin Long's character seems like he's trying to redeem himself, and then gets one more chance to be the biggest piece of shit on planet Earth one more time.
And takes it.
Yes.
Somebody here?
I think that's a good place to bring us to final thoughts. So I'll go ahead and start this week. I love Barbarian. I already did a little rapid review earlier this year, you might have seen, but I'm glad we got a chance to do a full review. I think this is a perfect movie because it's not trying to like have any grand statement about anything. It's just a movie with fun, interesting characters that are quirky and different, and it's telling a story about a house, and it's telling a story about people that interact with it, and it's very short and to the point, and it doesn't have any fat on it. It's a very lean, to the point movie, and it's just very well executed. Mm-hmm. And I just really enjoyed this movie, and it's one of my favorite movies of the year. I look forward to watching it again. I'm glad it's streaming now, and I'm gonna give this a full on. I think I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna give this a five. Oh my God. 5 Bill Skarsgård's eyes out of 5. A perfect 5 out of 5 Bill Skarsgård eyes. Wow. DJ, give us, what do you think about Barbarian?
That's great. I mean, we've really talked about it enough already. It's an incredible film. I'm very happy it's streaming. I wish I could have seen it in theaters. But you know what? Like, I'm not a huge horror guy or suspense guy normally. This movie cuts it with comedy in the perfect way for me, and it's always fun. It's nice and short. Sometimes it gets a little hard, but that's okay because it's telling a good story and it's using those moments effectively. Great Monster House film. I'm going to give it 4.5 baby bottles.
It's really, all it is just a baby. It's
just a baby.
Just wants to take care of a baby.
Yeah.
It can soon become a pleasurable experience. This is perfectly natural.
So there you have it. There's Barbarian.
It's great. Check it out.
Yeah, it's streaming now. I can watch it. Watch it again. It's definitely a movie that talking about it more, I realized how much I liked it, and it just like re-sparked that joy for me, and like how much fun and interesting elements there are, and how it just keeps turning and turning in a way that doesn't. It's not going to ruin it watching again, knowing what's happening. It's just going to add to the movie, knowing like, okay, I know a little bit more.
It's going to be one of the best movies to show someone who hasn't seen it.
Yes, absolutely. So go check out Barbarian, and otherwise you're gonna get stuck in the basement with Justin Long, and he's gonna try to measure you.
This will not happen.
So like and subscribe, and happy Halloween. Even though it's it's November now, but happy Halloween. We hope you spooked out, got your trick or treat on.
Take it away, Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Oh, come back anytime. Bring your friends.
You're gonna cut audience.
I'm Pennywise the Dancing Clown.